There are so many different status effects in Dead by Daylight, so let's talk about them. Hi, I'm Nintenluv. I'm the girl with blue hair that teaches you things about DBD. First, let's talk about where these status effects are gonna show up on your screen. You'll notice I have 3 different status effects on the right hand of my screen. This just indicates that I have 2 different debuffs and 1 buff. Basically meaning that one's helping me in my gameplay and the red ones aren't helping me out. The blessed status effect exclusively for survivors. Survivors will benefit from whichever blessed totem it is whenever you are inside the area, the active boon totem. The blindness status effect is a debuff, so it can be applied to both survivors and the killer. Players suffering from blindness are unable to read any aura, including the default ones, like seeing the auras of your survivors that are hooked or downed on the ground. Those are default. The broken status effect is also a debuff applied exclusively to survivors. So survivors suffering from broken are unable to be healed or heal themselves. The cursed status effect is a debuff applied exclusively to survivors. Survivors suffering from curse. So this is how you'll know that there is a hex totem activated, hex ruin, blood favor, crowd control, etc. Deep wound status effect. Also a debuff applied exclusively to survivors. Survivors suffering from deep wound have a special health bar displayed on the HUD. The health bar progressively drains whenever the survivor is not running or in the act of mending themselves or being mended by other survivors. The endurance status effect is a buff that can be applied to both survivors and the killer. Survivors benefiting from the endurance can resist damage from the killer. It's important to note endurance cannot protect a survivor already suffering from the deep wound status effect from being down because it puts you in deep wound. The exhausted status effect. This one is a debuff applied exclusively to survivors. This is a familiar one if you run exhaustion perk. It indicates you're exhausted, so you can no longer use your exhaustion perk until you recover from it. The exposed status effect. It's a debuff applied exclusively to survivors. This indicates that you will suffer a double damage hit by basic attack, so you will immediately be down even when perfectly healthy. The hemorrhage status effect, a debuff applied exclusively to survivors. Survivors suffering from hemorrhage produce more pools of blood, making them an easier target to track by the killer. The haste status effect, it's a buff that can be applied to both survivors and killer. Players benefiting from haste have their movement speed increased. The hindered status effect is a debuff that can be applied to both survivors and the killer. Players suffering from hindered have their movement speed decreased. The incapacitated status effect is a debuff applied exclusively to survivors. Survivors suffering from incapacitated are unable to interact with certain props or other survivors. The mangled status effect is a debuff applied exclusively to survivors. Survivors suffering from mangled take 25% longer to be healed for 1 health state. The oblivious status effect is a debuff applied exclusively to survivors. Survivors suffering from oblivious are unable to know the killer's terror radius and also do not hear the heartbeat, warning of the killer's proximity. I hope this helped you out a lot. Follow me for more Dead by Daylight things, and you can come see me live on Twitch every week for any kind of questions you might have, or if you just want to vibe. Thank you for watching.